name is Kaylin Pratt. I'm from the Somerville cohort, as you all clearly see. How many of you guys are singers?
Me.
Got it. Okay.
In the car.
So that counts. In the car counts, definitely. So how much do you know about your vocal cords?
About as much as nothing.
Okay. Okay. This is awesome. Then I get to teach you guys about your vocal cords. Okay. So the proper term for vocal cords is vocal folds.
Oh.
So you guys are probably like, what are vocal folds? Like, what are they?
Mm-hmm.
Vocal folds are going to be like, they're tissue. They're the tissue that's on the inside of your vocal cords, or on the inside of your throat. It is on both sides of your larynx. It is literally looks like two parallel lines.
Mm.
When you go to speak, what is actually happening is they are rubbing against each other, and they're pushing the force that you're putting on your voice is what's happening when you feel the vibrations. Okay, where do you guys think your vocal cords are actually located? Like, point to the specific part in your throat.
Here, right here.
Cole is absolutely correct. It is
Yes!
right here.
Yeah, I just felt
It is going to be at the top of your trachea, and it's inside of your larynx. Your larynx is what's most commonly known as the voice box. It's just like a circle, which is funny that they call it a box. It's a circle that is surrounding your vocal cords to make sure nothing happens to it. It is like a protective layer.
Mm.
Okay, so there are multiple ways to damage your vocal cords, which include singing fully without vocally warming up. Vocally warming up is very, very important. That is, when it is like a track person, when they are running, they need to stretch first. They need to stretch it out so that their muscles are now loose and no longer stiff. Another way to hurt your voice is when you're singing loudly all the time. It's like when you're speaking, your speaking voice isn't going to be loud all the time. You're not going to have a abrasively loud voice all the time, because eventually that's going to hurt.
Mm.
Another thing would be yelling, which is just pretty much the same as singing loudly all the time, where you have the ability to sing both high and both very low. So it is very key to use those. Another thing that could really, really hurt your voice is monotone. If you were to be monotone the whole time, it would not benefit your voice. It would not help you at all, because you do have the different ranges and the different ways that your voice can go up or it can go down. You can talk really high or you can talk really, really low. That's there for a reason. So to speak monotone the whole time is not doing your voice or your vocal cords any justice. The thing that most people definitely do not know, especially singers, is that when you're trying to clear out your throat, what is actually happening is you're putting so much friction upon your vocal cords that it is hurting. It is not good for your vocal cords. It's almost tearing at your vocal cords. It's like when you have two muscles and they're rubbing together, and it's literally tearing at your vocal cords. It's really, really one of the worst things you can do. Also, if you were to sing right after having, something very acidic like orange juice or apple juice, which is actually acidic. Most people don't know that apples are very acidic. That's also going to be really bad for your voice, because what's happening is the acid in the drink that you just had is stripping the lubrication off your vocal cords. And so it's basically as if you were to sing completely dry, no water, no anything. Mm. So those things are going to lead to scarring and cuts upon your voice, and eventually you're just not going to be able to hit a certain frequency because you're wearing off that tissue. So each time you do that, a layer of your tissue is coming off of your vocal cords. And so eventually they're not going to be able to touch anymore, so what they're doing is they're just air. It's just not going to do anything. There are multiple ways to help your voice, to make sure that you don't have any tearing or any layers of your tissue coming off of your vocal cords. One of the ways is drinking plenty of water. Water is honestly the best lubrication for your voice. It is the thing that keeps you hydrated, and it's like gears. You need something to go between it to help it run smoothly. If you were to just have nothing, no water, no nothing, like I said before, it would be that friction of trying to force something happening. It wouldn't be genuinely smooth. That's why you get some notes that are going to sound forced. That's because you do not have your vocal cords properly lubricated. Another thing is to definitely, like I said before, make sure you're vocally warmed up. Make sure you're completely at your fullest. You're able to, warm-ups are to help you see where you can and cannot go. If your voice is not going to let you go to a certain high note, then in a warm-up, then it's not going to let you do it when you're actually performing. Limit your dairy. I know that sounds very funny because you don't really think of dairy so much as affecting your vocal cords. But what the dairy does is it clots it coats over your vocal cords, and so instead of your vocal cord rubbing together smoothly, there's a layer on top of that vocal cord, so they're not rubbing the way they should. And so when you have that dairy on there, it's just gonna completely do just like that. Another thing is, I know a lot of people get hot here in South Carolina, especially at nighttime. But the biggest thing is to not sleep with your AC on. If you have a, I know that sounds crazy, but if you have a big performance the day before or even the morning before, if you were to sleep with your AC on, what it does is it's drying out your vocal cords. The AC, even though you may think you're breathing through your nose, you're actually breathing through both your nose and your mouth slightly. And so what it's doing is it's drying out your vocal cords, which is like, again, that friction. So, and it takes a very, very long time and a very lot amount of water and lubrication to make sure that you are very lubricated. So it's going to take a few hours, to be honest, to completely lubricate it after having the recommended 8 hours of sleep. Another thing is the caffeine, is limit yourself with caffeine and alcohol. And I don't think alcohol is really too much of an issue for us. But how many of you guys love yourself some coffee?
Oh, bring it in.
I am in love with coffee. But what it does is it's just like with everything else. Coffee dehydrates you. And so everything pretty much goes back to that lubrication of your vocal cords. If you're not lubricated properly, it's not going to run properly. It's like a machine. If you do not have lubrication in your engine, it is not going to run properly. It's going to be grinding gears. I had a short interview with Mr. Cole Perkins, who previously just had his speech, and he is actually one of the worship leaders here. And so I figured I would ask him a few questions about how he likes to warm up before he performing. And so I asked him what his favorite warm-ups were, and he liked to pretty much do the ascending and descending scales, which is just going up your octave and down your octave. And if you feel ambitious and if you feel like you're able to, you can take it a step further and try to go up even more or down even more. And I also asked him how long he would like to practice, and he said only 10 minutes, which was actually surprising for me because the recommended time for vocal warm-ups to be completely vocally warmed up is 35 minutes to an hour. And then you are perfect, and then you are completely relaxed, loose, and able to properly function. And that is my presentation about your vocal cords and how to properly treat them. Thank you.
Thank you.